Hello there and welcome. It's time for another Shatterpoint battle report. This time trying to get all of the new bounty hunters on the table. I've gotten the Armorer box, Lando's box, and Beer's box on the table previously, so this time trying to get that we don't need their Scum box on the table as well. And first off, of course, making more of a bounty hunter focused list. So we've got the Mandalorian, of course. We're putting IG-88 with him and filling that out with the wing guards. And on the other side, we have Lando with Bossk and IG-11. So a lot of people trying to get the IGs together. Bossk helps fill out that out points wise. He's also got the revenge trigger for other bounty hunters being wounded. And people have also recognized kind of a fun combo between Lando and Bossk, where on Lando's activation, he can choose a Scoundrel within 4 and give them, if they're on his team, give them a dash and give them all the conditions that he's gotten through let's see, Sabak Shift. So Sabak Shift, once per turn when you reveal a unit's order card, this unit may gain a condition it does not have, and then if it does, refresh to force and shuffle this unit's order card back into your deck, then reveal the next card. So he's going to be putting conditions on himself, and but once he actually does activate, he can potentially choose Bossk, give him the conditions, and then when Bossk activates, he'll just shed all those conditions at the start of his activation anyway. So that hopefully that's a fun combo that we can get going here. Lando, of course, isn't a bounty hunter, but he's got the Scoundrel synergy for Mando. Yeah, so try out the fun combo there, mainly between Lando and Bossk. Again, possible that another primary might be better there, but I also want to figure out kind of where Lando shines, because in the last game where I played him, he felt a little bit replaceable. And also, because we're bringing Lando, we can't bring Lando and R2, so kind of have to go with the wing guards. They're fine, but Lando, R2, they feel a little more thematic, I guess. But going with that, and on the other side, Boba Fett can take on the Galactic Empire tag, so it kind of made sense to try and put him into a Empire focused list. And I had him with Vader because I think some people have been using him with Vader, and then Dengar as the last bounty hunter, who I'm actually most interested in trying because I think he's just kind of a solid character with steadfast and immunity to pin, as well as free bounty hunter reserves and that sort of thing. On the trail, just free dash as a tactic rather than having to pay for it. So I think he's just going to be solid, maybe not the most eye-catching, but very solid, as well as his tree with the conditions and shoves, pretty early shoves, I'd say. So he's the one that actually stuck out to me the most out of the 4. But even though he's kind of just filling in the 4th slot in a way in this list. But anyway, I had Dengar over here, but realized that Boba can just give himself the Galactic Empire tag, so that might come into play when we have Moff Gideon go and he needs to choose the Galactic Empire character within 4 to do the dash. So swapped him over there. I also think it's going to be interesting to see. I realized kind of just now that that also puts all of my jumps on the left side of the board in that squad. But what I was intending to split up is the immunity to pin, because the Dark Troopers have immunity to pin and protection. Dengar has immunity to pin and steadfast. So, pretty kind of tanky on this side, and probably difficult to displace because of also, of course, Dark Trooper's immovable ability. So the bounty hunters got first priority with the roll, so they'll be going first. I chose Sabotage Showdown because I think that lends itself a little better to the bloodbath that I assume the bounty hunters are going to want to be trying to do. So that's what I picked there. They'll be going first. Well, I guess it worked out anyway. I maybe should have thought about this when deploying the Empire Squad. But Mando didn't get to choose to avoid the Dark Troopers, who can't be moved by his clan of 2. But I kind of just threw out Empire based on where I think I'll need the more jumps on this side of the board, and so maybe that worked out to the bounty hunters' advantage. Now, the bounty hunters will be a body down because of IG-11, and the other side of the board, the Empire side, will be a body up, kind of, because of Moff Gideon's tiebreaker. So, another thing that might have come into play. He's going to dash. He's going to move. Bend that a little bit. Okay. Make sure within 5. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay. So, tactic dash, move action. Now we're going to do a combat action, and we're going to use his 3 extra dice. 10. Oh, it is a combat action. Okay. So, let's do it. Let's add the 3 more. So we'll roll 13 on this attack. So they are rolling 7 on the Dark Trooper side. So 3 getting through. So we will do 4 damage down to 3 and the reposition. Oh yeah, that's definitely getting there. We do lose a momentum for that. And then we'll do our 5 dice attack, which we're going to add 3 dice to again. Don't have any momentum to lose. So that'll be down to 8. We'll attack the ISBs. 2 crits getting through. That will get our 2 damage and the reposition. And so that will get us up here. Dengar is going to go this way. And then with his tactic dash, and then he's going to climb up here with his decent access to shoves. I think we put him over here. So even if he doesn't wound, he can get the shove off. Oops. Get that way. So, yeah, that's what we'll do. So that will be 5, so that will be a full tree. And if we take the, well, either way we do 7. And so let's load them up with conditions. We're just going to do literally every condition. Because why not? So that will be a wound, however. So, oh, right. So, we gain a momentum, which sets off his thing before everyone else's revenge attacks. And we are across the board, so no one's going to be able to hit Dengar. It's a hit, so nothing happens. So we will dash him up there. He's keeping that point a little more safe there. Reposition that away. And everyone within 4, so everyone's scoundrels, can remove a condition and gain a hunker. So he is going to gain a hunker as well as himself. Dengar is flipping that point. And 4-3. Let's go towards Gideon, I guess. Yeah, no. Because yeah, we can't get over there to get that point. Okay. And then there. Attack him with 7 dice. Oh yeah, I can reroll. What am I doing? Yeah, I can reroll 2. And that gets me another crit, so that's 5. Okay. Oh, back up. So, I can't get the reposition. So 5 damage, 2 shoves, strain. And the reposition will get me up there for it. There we go. We will flip that. And for 4, yes, we will throw Raider into reserve. That'll cost a force. Boba will be next. He will jump there. So we will move. Get rid of his hunker. Melee attack. So we're going to stop at 3 and a disarm. Yeah, he's going to heal 1. So he's going to heal. Yes, just heal the 1. He's going to have to pay 2. Do disarm for damage and pin. Do damage, and the other one will go to Mando. And so that will get a wound on Lando. which will gain us a momentum, which will set off IG-88's thing. So he will roll 1 attack die, and if it's a fail, then he explodes. It's a crit. So not this time. Okay, and then it's not a bounty hunter, so he doesn't get his thing. His thing is also an attack. Mando. Oh, Mando's is not an attack. So he's going to heal 2, which will actually just get rid of the strain and a damage from himself. Then he'll get a reposition, which will end up stealing this point and be a net 0 for them. So steal that. Boba gets that. And see, I used the move. And so that will be 3 points again. And we're going to get Bossk. He's going to get rid of all the conditions. 1, roll 5 dice. Get some free damage on Boba. We're looking for expertise, which we got 0. But we get the dash back into range. We are going to attack with 6 dice. I mean, we could, yeah, we can focus, make it 7 dice. And he's got 4. Okay, so we're getting 3 steps through. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, after the fact, I don't think those 3 dice would have helped much anyway. We can get, I think we have to go with a shove route, so 4 and 2 shoves. And shove. And basically shove him to the edge. And sit there. Score that one. For 4 for the bounty hunters. So bounty hunters are slowly pulling it to their side. Yep. Do the dash. I mean, unless shoves might get him in range, because it's over here. So shove on 2. Nope, wrong one. Shove on 2 there. Let's do just normal attack. Oh, gets rid of the damage. So it'll be 7. And ISPs are not great at range anyway. 4. Uh-oh. Okay. So yeah, crit's gonna do 2 damage. So I would need to do 3 damage and a reposition. So for the shove, well, a shove would get me in range, but the shove doesn't have any damage. So I basically need 3 steps either way here. So we'll spend the force for the second attack. The extra 3 dice is innate, so we'll roll 8 dice on this. Against 4 again. 4. So yeah, we're getting 4 through. Nice. Okay. So we'll go with the reposition route 5 and pin. So that's kind of what we wanted last time, but Pin 5. I'll get the wound. Do a reposition. Hopefully I can actually fit after all that. Oops. Yeah, it'll fit in there. And so we'll get the momentum for the wound. Get that. And so that'll be five points. And which will be enough to end the struggle. So we'll take the dash, set up the strain. Let's move in a little closer, climb. And then do our melee attack. So that'll be 8 dice. Into Mando 6. That'll be just the 2 getting through. It will get me the shove though, so 3 and a shove. And I think we'll take the follow-up just to be a little more annoying to move off the point. There. And that'll be Dengar's. And we'll get the 4 points again. So Bossk shed all of his conditions. Yeah, let's do explosive ordnance. And so I get a dash. It doesn't have to be toward anyone, so we'll do 5 dice. See how many expertise we get. We're gonna pick the ISB there so that we can wound or do damage to both. It'll be 1, so 1 for ISB, 1 for Dark Trooper. He gets a dash, which will be that way. So 7 dice into 5. Ooh, just 4 hits. And 4 blocks plus crit to hit. So that will do nothing. Bossk will walk over here. Body block. Ingress. Get that point. They get that point. Guard has that point. So we will get 3. So they're getting IG-88. He is very conditioned up. Fail. That's what Bossk has. That's pretty lucky. So IG-88 is down here. In order to get this point, I'd need to... I could climb and then ingress down here. And then I'd be in melee with Vader. And could probably shove him off. We'll get rid of the strain. And the dash will get rid of the pin. We'll still get focus because we're still within 5. And then we use the climb to come up and ingress down. And we'll attack Vader with 7 dice in melee. Five. 2 and a damage getting through. 2 steps. Be 3 and a shove, so 4 damage and a shove. So that's exactly what we wanted there, or at least what we wanted there. We can do the shove. He can't really move, but we'll take that back. I'll do a dash. And then, oh, we could also just, well, yeah, if we shove Gideon off, that would also do the trick. The point is under Mando. If we do our move action, just get better shove angles here. And then we will attack. Could wound Moff, and then shove an ISB off. I think that's very doable as well. So we'll do a normal attack into ISBs. No extra dice. We don't want to be losing momentum. So 7. And I think they're 5 in melee. Yeah. 2 crits and a damage. So we will get 3 damage and a shove. So we need to shove him off. And then we do need to be engaged with Gideon, so we'll bump into Mando there. Yep, so we can do the attack. And on this one, we will add the 3 extra dice. And so we'll be rolling 8 instead. Moff is rolling 5 in melee. If we don't get the wound here, which would mean that we don't get 1 step, then we lose the momentum, but we should get 1 step. Oh boy, 5 expertise, a crit and a damage. So 2 crits. Yeah, don't worry about the hits, they're not getting through. No crit mitigation. So 2 crits and a damage. So we could also shove him off. So 3 and a shove. Shove. 3 for the wound. So we'll gain a momentum for that. And yeah, so that'll flip that. And that will be the game for the Bounty Hunters. So they were able to finish that off. It was quite the back and forth. I think if the Bounty Hunters weren't successful in getting 3 points or the wound there, I think it might have gotten dicey for them, because Vader was threatening to come over here and do an attack on Bossk, either shove him off. He could have maybe wounded him, there was potential for a 4-point turn at some point. Maybe it needed a little more setup even, but because this point was pretty back and forth all the time. But if yeah, it could have gone the Empire's way if they maybe had a little more time to stop hitting 0 all the time, or if they had been able to avoid hitting 0 earlier. But yeah, a really close match, I would say, especially with the way Struggle 1 went so back and forth. Finally, the Bounty Hunters again were able to tip the scale and finish that one off. But wounds wise, we had 5. Bounty Hunters did 5. Empire did 4. And of course, IG-11 was 1 away. So pretty even on the attrition side of things. Now, when it comes to the Bounty Hunter units, I think they all had pretty solid activations. Bossk had kind of a not great activation near the end there, where he got nothing through on Dark Troopers, but that does happen when you throw a pot shot into Dark Troopers. Very interesting 3-point card though, being able to, especially with Lando, being able to just heal off the conditions. If he sets off the strain to do the damage, he can still get rid of those that damage and conditions, and presents a problem kind of for your opponent where it feels kind of pointless to be throwing random shots into him. You kind of want to attack him when you're aiming to probably be able to wound him. So he's definitely an interesting one. IG-88 was strong in that interaction in Struggle 1, I think, did give an advantage where I was able to add the 3 dice to IG-11's attack from IG-88, add 3 from IG-11. I technically lose 2 momentum for not getting the wound, but I only had 1 to lose, and then use the ability again from IG-11, which would remove a 3rd momentum for not wounding, but again, didn't have any momentum to lose. So that was an interesting interaction that kind of gave him a burst out of the gate. And IG-11 also, like, I think that was like turn 1 or maybe activation 2. Because yeah, I think it started with the Wingguard. I think it was activation 2 that he was able to dash, move, shoot, get a reposition, shoot again, get another reposition, and literally just cross the board and steal that point because of the lucky positioning of the ingress point. So he definitely had some impressive turns as well. He is a 1-body support, of course, and 9 health. I mean, that's high on the higher end for a support, but his defense is well, it is decent, being 2 blocks for 2 expertise like that. So he was a fun one. He did end up being early wound and being in the situation where he was rolling a die to potentially explode there early on. But when it's only 1 die every time, I mean, he did survive through 4 or 5 of those rolls. But what I wanted to mention is that once IG-88 got wounded, his 3 extra dice for bounty hunters was pretty much off the table, especially with only having 5. So that value definitely dropped off pretty quickly once he was wounded. And so being a 5-point cost character, he had a good early impact, but and a solid activation. But I think there's lower cost units that could also provide consistent, solid activations. So I think if I was to replay this list, I would probably swap him and the Wingguards out. Wingguard, they don't have a great attack. I mean, their first activation, they just moved up and took this point. It made it difficult to get bodies onto the point, but any support could have done that. Once they had to do attacks, I was a little worried about how much they'd get through. Luckily, I only needed to do 3 because I saw the play with the ISBs, but if I had to wound the Dark Troopers, I would have been worried about that, especially since they're immune to pin. So they would, yeah, they would have needed one of their attacks to get 4 through, the other to get 2 through. So that was not very likely to be happening. Or no, that math doesn't even work. Nope, it would have to have been 4 through on both. So yeah, not happening. Luckily the ISBs were there with 3 health. So yeah, replaying this list, I would definitely look at swapping IG-88 and Wingguard out. I'm still not super enthusiastic about Lando. I feel like I also keep picking him early in the deck, so his force refresh, I'm adding a damage or a condition to shuffle them back in, but not really getting the full effects of the force refresh on him. So yeah, two games with Lando now. Still feeling like he's maybe a little on the replaceable side, but maybe I'm still missing something. On the other side, I think Boba Fett is kind of positioned to be another option for Empire, but I'm just not sure that he's on the high end of potential Empire primaries. I did get a wound through without doing an attack, but because it was Mando on the other side, I mean, it avoided Bossk's revenge attack, but Mando still got to do his thing because it was it's just when an enemy character wounds another allied unit. So that wasn't super impactful there. I mean, it did help finish, I think, Lando off. Lando, or I think it was Lando. Yeah. So, I mean, that also wouldn't have set off Bossk anyway, but so kind of no effect there. And again, as soon as he got wounded, then his abilities to do that chip damage were pretty much off the table as well, being 2 for a damage on 2 units or 2 for 2 conditions on a unit. I guess his reactive his reactive ability would have also cost 2, so, or cost 1 at least. So I didn't miss any. I don't think I missed any free jumps. Might have given him a jump when he shouldn't have, or I should have spent a force for it. So not Boba has not convinced me yet. I also think that the Empire team would have been stronger with, for example, Death Trooper Escort, of course, being able to do more out of activation movement. I think would have really helped to, especially in this third struggle, actually be able to put pressure on the 3 points a lot more quickly. Dengar, pretty solid. I mean, again, he doesn't have the, bring, I think, what Empire is necessarily wanting, but for 4 cost unit, very reliable. Getting that dash. Also making it so you spend one less on the bounty hunters. Steadfast and immunity was going to be hard to deal with if it was basically anyone but Mando that ended up going after him. And he's got nice access to shoves as well. So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily play him in Empire, but I think he would be the swap in on the bounty hunter side of the board. So let me know what you guys thought, who you thought were kind of the standouts, especially out of the 4 bounty hunters secondaries, and let me know what you want to see more of. I put a poll up, I guess, while in between editing or in between recording this video, so check that out. I'm kind of looking for what you guys are interested in, whether you're looking for more competitive matchups, seeing those on the table, seeing some more thematic games, or if you're looking for some kind of wacky or a little bit off the, a little more out there combinations that that might not be the most obvious pairing, trying stuff like that out to see if it is actually competitive or not. So check out the polls on my channel. I've been trying to do them more and get some feedback from you guys to guide what you want to see. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.